Let's just start with date function and its applications. We all know that Tableau provides us the hierarchy when we use the date column in our sheet by default, and with a single click, we can drill down from year to quarter to month to date and till the seconds. Then why we want these date functions? So date functions allow you to manipulate dates in your data sources. For example, you might have different fields with year, month, or date, and for each value you want to display a single whole date value, or you just want to start or you just want to show the quarter value in your visualization. In such kind of situation or calculations, date functions are used. Here we have listed 12 majorly used date functions along with their data types. If we use a date add function, the data type of the result will be a date time. Similarly, if you use date diff function, the resultant data type will be your integer value. So this data, sorry, so this data type is very important as it will change the way when you use any calculation having date function for aggregation. Now let's talk about how to write and use these date functions in our calculations. So let's first we will talk about date add function. The date add function uh, allow you to specify a portion of date and increase it. It return a specific number of intervals added to a specific date part for that specific date. Like if you here in the example which I have showing over here, the 15 is the interval on which I want to add on for the particular day on the day part for the particular date. So the resultant will be plus 15 in plus 15 in the specified date. Second is the date diff function. This function allow you to return difference between the two dates. The difference between date 2 minus date 1 expressed in units determined by the date part. Here the start of the week is optional. It is not defined, and the start of the week is totally optional for us. And if we are using this start of the week, it defined the date, it defined the week from where you want to make the date difference. Or if you are not specifying, it will determine the date, the part of the week will be determined by its associate data source. Date name function returns the date part of the date part of the date in a string format. Again, start of the week over here is optional. Just specify the date part and the date, and your option will be a specific date in a string format. Fourth one is date parse function. It's just a reverse of a date name function. It converts your string into the date and time with a specific date format, as you can see over here. Tableau can pass a date field down to seconds because there are several date parts to account for. Capital M is designated to months and the lower M is designated for the minutes. Next is date part function. Date part function allow you to return a specific date part as an integer. Whatever date part you will specify in the function, it will return it in the form of integer. Like here we have mentioned year for this particular date, so it will return us 2000. It should be 2014 by mistake. It's a it is
Yeah,
showing
it should be
2004. It
2014.
should
Yes.
be 2014. Next is date trunc. So date trunc function return the date part of the date as a string as a string. Or, again, the week of the date, as I have already told you, is totally optional. If you're not specifying, it will take the week numbers according to the data source. Similarly, if you are using date trunc, you just mention the date part and the specific date. It will return that date part in a string format. Seventh one is R is date function. As the name defined, it's a logical test function to test the string you are enter in the calculation is a valid date or not. It will return. It will the data type is a boolean for this particular function. It will either return true or false. The eighth one is make date function. The make date function returns the date value constructed from the year, a month, and a day. This function help you to make a number, uh, make use of numbers of different field to convert it into a date type. Or if you want to compare a specific date value with another date field. So in that scenario, you can use make date function. Ninth is make date time function. So it will return a date and time value constructed from the date expression and the time expression. Whatever date you have mentioned in the date time day make date time and the time you have specified after the date, the resultant value will be a date time will have a date time data type, and the time you have mentioned automatically it will show you is it a morning time or second half of the day by represented by the AM or PM. The 10th one is make time function, which will return the time value constructed from the hour, minutes, and second only. The whatever number you have entered in the make time function, the resultant will be the time series. Like here we have mentioned 079 5900. So the time will be 7 hour 59 minutes in AM. The 11th function is the now function. Now function returns the current date time. Now here the question arises: what time it will take? As uh, the resultant when we are using the now function, there are two different. There will be a date and a time. So for time, if you are using a live and unpublished, published or unpublished data source, the now will return the data source server time. Whatever the time is represented by the server system, it will represent the same time. And for unpublished extract, now will return the local system time. Like if you're not published your dashboard till now and you are using extract, whatever time is showing in your current local system, the output will be that only. And for publish extract, now will return the local time of the Tableau server data engine. Uh, on whatever system the server system, the Tableau server is installed, or it is a Tableau online, the time period, the time which now will show is totally depend on that. Today function simply return the current date. So that's the only difference between the now and today. That now will include time series along with the day, but the today function only returns the day part. Today part, not the day part. Today part. We will see how we can use this function in our development. So let's take a use case in which end user want three different scenarios in a single dashboard. The user first user want a dashboard should show yesterday by default. Dashboard should allow the end user to switch between last 7 days, last 15 days, last 30 days, last 60 days, this month and previous Monday. Dashboard should also allow the end user to view the date for specified period. That is, an option should be provided for entering a start date and the end date. Let me show you this on Tableau, as I have already created small graph by to representing this particular use case. So if you are able to see this graph, and here all the periods which user want, I have given it in a selection format. So by default, it will show you the yesterday date, and the user can switch from yesterday to last 7 days, to last 15 days, 30 days, last 60 days, this month, previous month. And when you select the custom date, automatically our start date and end date parameter get active, and accordingly our visualization will change as per our selection by from the start and the end date. Point here is we don't want to use our start date and end date whenever we are using other selection except custom date. So to build this, what we have to do is we have to create three different parameter first. We will create first parameter as for selecting the period. So I have mentioned the name as select period. I have given the data type as integer. Current value I will select as a yesterday, and the value should be in the list format. So I have given 8 different values, and display the change their display name as first. The value 1 will represent yesterday, then 2 is last 7 days, 3 is last 15 days, fourth is last 30 days, and so on till eighth value 8, which is representing my custom date. Along with that, we have to create two more parameters, which is a date parameters for a start date and an end date. Let me show you one parameter as well. So I have given this as a name as a start date, data type as a date, current value whatever you want to specify for the custom date, and OK. After creating the parameters, you have to create a calculation for active in layman terms. You have to activate these parameters. We want whatever we have selecting, our value should get manipulated as per our selection. So we will create one calculation. So I've already created one calculation over here. Is it visible?
Yes, yes, Shubham.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So out of first parameter selection for yesterday, I have mentioned as I have already shown you that selection value 1 will representing the yesterday. So we have used date at function for creating our logic, and today function to compare between the uh, day before yesterday and the today to give me the yesterday part. Similar functions are used to create last 7 days, last 15 days, last 30 days, and last 60 days. For the previous month and this month, we have used date trunc function, and for the custom dates, we have directly used our date parameters to create the custom dates. After creating this calculation, just uh, design your view. So I no, just use the categories and subcategories and sum of sales, and I will drag this. I will drag my created date on the filter part, select true, and OK. So now my parameters are active for that for this particular visualization, and I can use any of the parameter to customize my visualization. Or and if I use this Boolean calculation which I've created right now, in every sheets which we will which you want to design for your dashboard. So the single parameter will work for uh, all the charts and the sheets which you will present in a single dashboard. This same calculation is already mentioned on the slide as well for your reference. So that's all for the date functions. Over to you, Pramod.
Thank you. Okay, so that was everything related to the date function that we have in Tableau. Now, what our next agenda that we need to cover in this session is the LOD, level of detail expression, that we do in Tableau. So LOD is actually a kind of a fancy word. What happens is everyone actually uses LOD, but we need to explain it to some other end user, the one whom we will be handing over all our work. Then it's quite difficult to them, right? मैं easily बोल नहीं पाते कि what is LOD is. So उन्हें भी basically समझ नहीं आता है. But it's actually a very powerful feature in Tableau. Until and unless we would able to express what it is not considered as much power as we think by the end user, right? So ये होता है. So if we want to tell the end user that what LOD is in a layman language, you can say that it is nothing but the it allows us to aggregate the granularity as per our choice. मतलब custom granularity पे हमें अगर aggregation perform करना है, then we can use the level of detail expression. I have created a example for that. So as I said, LOD defines the granularity of the data, and this is a screenshot of my data. I have the order ID and I have the number of records of each order. So you can see over here, the first order, the orders that is in the first row is repeated only once. But when we go to the second order ID, it is repeated 4, which means कि आगे भी कोई particular partition हो रहा है, जिसकी वजह से हम इसे order ID को as a single entity हम granularity of the data नहीं कह पाएंगे, right? Granularity means the deepest level, right? So the order ID itself over here is not the granular level. So what is the granular level? So in order to show that, we have the a further drill down with respect to the category and subcategory. So as soon as I went to the category and subcategory, we can see that मेरा जो order ID के साथ along with category and along with subcategory, I am getting a single record, which means my granularity is a combination of all these three will be the granular deepest level. So in this way, we can arrive at the granularity of the data. But why do we need to know this? The reason we need to know this is because हमें इस granular level पे जाके aggregation perform करना है, and we need to roll it back to the level that we want. This would be a little bit difficult to understand at this point. We will be covering it in the further slides. So next, in order to understand what the granularity is, we'll be representing this in the form of a. So I have my region-wise sales comparison, as you can see from this particular list. So this is nothing but the sales represented on the region level of detail. Okay? So region is nothing but a dimension, और उस particular dimension के अंदर हमारे पास 4 attributes. So sum of sale is represented along with the central, east, north, and west region. So this is nothing but the Viz level of detail expression, right? जो भी Viz हम represent कर रहे हैं, sales जो है उसी के हिसाब से bifurcate होके हमें दिख रहा है. That what we call as the Viz level of detail. Next, what we have is a scatter plot, a little complex visualization than the bar chart. Over here, I have the sales, I have the profit in my column and row shape accordingly. Then I have placed the category as well as the region. So पहले क्या था, एक जो चीज थी वो हमारे level of detail बन रही थी. Now we have two things, category and the region. As you can see, as I entered the category and region over here, my data got split into roughly around 4 cross 3, 12 dots. Because I have 3 category and 4 regions, so my dots will be increased accordingly, right? This is representing my level of detail for this particular view. That what we call as a Viz level of detail. that's how LOD, that's what LOD does. It breaks down your data into multiple different points as per your data. But what if we want to aggregate that particular data up to a level? Like हमने जैसे यहाँ पे ड्रैग एंड ड्रॉप किया, रीजन को रो में डाला, कॉलम को सेल्स में डाला, अपना जो विजुअलाइजेशन है वो उसके हिसाब से बाइफरकेट हो गया, राइट? बट हमें वो जो एग्रीगेशन जो परफॉर्म हुआ है यहाँ पे, फॉर इंस्टेंस दिस इज नथिंग बट माई करीबन 6 लाख के करीबन आ रहा है, राइट? But I don't want that this particular 6 lakh. I want to average all the central region, all aggregate the central region with respect to the state. उसका average perform करना है और मुझे यहाँ पे as a sum दिखाना है. Then वहाँ पे हमारा LOD जो है jumping करता है. What LOD does is we'll be seeing that. Okay, so before moving ahead, we'll see how which are the pages that are actually affecting the level of detail expression. I have the column shelf over here, I have the row shelf, I have the marks card, and I have the whisk pane over here. So all the solid lines that I have highlighted in green actually affects the level of detail expression. So अगर आप यहाँ पे कोई भी चीजें डालोगे in this particular sheet dark solid area, your LOD expression will be altered accordingly. Apart from this, if you can see, pages shelf are not in a solid line; it's in a gradient form, right? So the reason behind that is actually page shelf level of detail को इफेक्ट करता है, but it's not that as we expect. तो जैसे ही हमने कोई किसी पिल को उठा के अपने व्यू में डाला, डेटा जो है उसके हिसाब से बाइफरकेट हो जाता है. एज वी सी, जब हमने रीजन डाला था तो हमारा जो सेल्स 4 इसमें डिवाइड हो गया था. बट जैसे ही हम अगर सपोज कर लेते हैं हमने सेल्स रिप्रेजेंट किया है और ईयर ऑफ ऑर्डर डेट को हमने पेजेस में डाला, we don't see a 4 or 2016, 17, 18, 19 separate 4 bar charts, right? We see only a single bar chart because pages will give a slider of 16, 17, 18, and 19. So this is how the pages look, right? So even though it is not multiplying your data, but it is doing its job. So that's why I have highlighted the pages over here, which is actually affecting your level of detail expression. These are the things that will be affecting your level of detail expression. So you need to be very careful while using these panes in your dashboard. Next, what we have is the shells that don't affect the level of detail expression. So as you can see, the orange solid line and is present in the filters and the tooltip. So as we know, filters actually slices your data and it will affect your result. But it will not affect your level of detail expression. It will पहले जो data आप विज में represent करते हो वो automatically filtered होके आ जाता है as soon as you place anything into the filter shelf, right? It will not affect the LOD, but it will slice up your data, and on top of that sliced data, our LOD will be operating. And secondly, what we have is a tooltip. So as soon as you entered any dimension, for example, you have plotted your category into the row shelf. Okay, category. Sorry, okay, category would be a better example. As soon as you plotted the category into the row shelf, you get 3 different attributes in that particular category, right? So you get your home, furnishing, etc. Now, as soon as you drop a subcategory into the tooltip, you will be noticing that it will be an ATTR sign attribute. A table calculation will be automatically applied on top of that, indicating that it will not bifurcate into some other data. So accordingly, adding any category into the tooltip will not affect your level of detail expression. That was the meaning behind highlighting the tooltip. These are the tools that will not affect the level of detail expression. Next, what we have is, so let's suppose we are planning to plot average sales in my Viz. Okay, so we have average sales and we are plotting this into our. Now, if we, but this will be calculating at the Viz level of detail. मतलब अगर हम मेरा region अगर row पे है तो ये region wise मुझे average sales compute करके देगा. But what if I want to, irrespective of the Viz LOD, I want to calculate it based on a customized granularity of my data. How to do that? In order to do that, you have the fixed expression. This is just an example over here. So I have fixed. I have. You can read this in such a way like for each state, compute the average sales. So this will calculate the sales at the state level of detail expression. So that's how you can customize your granularity of the data, and you get this will give you the result with respect to each state that you have in your data. And based on that, if you plot this with respect to the region, the fixed function, what it will do, okay, that we will be looking at the further slides. So that's how the level of detail expression works. Now we'll see the keywords and the different types of level of detail expression that you can use. So you can see three different types over here: fixed, include, and exclude. And you need to specify a dimension after the keyword. So I have specified my customer ID. It can be region or it can be state or anything. And finally, there is an aggregation. What aggregation does is every LOD expression needs to be aggregated. So you would be able to just specify like a dimension or an unaggregated expression. It should always be aggregated. Otherwise, the level of detail expression will throw up an error. And this has to be wrapped by curly braces at the both sides in order for its operation. So we have fixed, include, and exclude. What is fixed, what is include, and what is exclude? We seeing the next slides. Okay, so first let's catch up on the fixed LOD. So let's suppose I have two dimensions in my view, a segment and a category. Okay, next, if I need to write this at a level of detail expression, I want to aggregate this on top of the category. So I have written a fixed level of detail expression, fixed category, and aggregate it with respect to the sum of sales. So what this will do is, irrespective of the segment dimension over here, it will automatically aggregate this with respect to the category. How the fixed level of detail it excludes all the dimensions that are present on the green shell that I showed slides. And whatever you placed in your dashboard, it will always calculate the sum of sales with respect to the category. Fixed indicates that it will ignore everything other than the category that you place in the dimensionality. Okay, so that's what this will show. Will give you the sum of sale for each category. Now, if you want to see this, how this actually works, let's into our Tableau desktop. Let's suppose I have my segment over here. I have my category placed against that. Let's track our sales figure. Okay. So this is my sales figure with respect to each category and segment. Now let's write an LOD expression, including the fixed in A, B. Okay. So in order to do that, first what I've entered is the curly braces. I write fixed over here. I write category over here, as we saw in the slide, and I will aggregate this with the sum of sales. Let's drag and drop this text shell folder. This is my sum of sales that is coming from the data, and this is my fixed LOD. Now, these both numbers are completely different because this is calculating the aggregation based on the category over here. What is this number? Kahan se aa raha hai? It's replicating for each segment over, right? As soon as I remove the segment over here, you can see each. This is a sales figure for each category. So that's what where the number is coming from, and this is replicating for all the three dimensions that you have. All for a single dimension that you have in your view. That is the segment. So हर segment के लिए उसने repeat कर लिया, but this is computing based on the sales category over here. So that's how the fixed LOD expression works. To place anything onto your view, it will always compute the dimension that you have specified in your calculation. Yeah, that's the definition of the fixed level of detail. Next, what we have is the include level of detail. It's also it's a little bit complex as compared to the fixed. Please एकदम clear था कि जो आप dimension में डालोगे सिर्फ जो आप calculation में डालोगे सिर्फ उसी की basis पे compute होगा. But include does not works in the same. So in order to see that how it works, let's look at this example. If your width has a dimension called segment, you have written an LOD expression. I missed the include part over here. Okay, no issues. I'll show that in my Tableau desktop. So consider this as include. So include category sum of sales. So what the end result you will be getting is this will compute the sum of sale for each segment plus category. Segment already dimension हमारे dashboard में था और what you can see we have it in our worksheet added by a category. This will compute the sum of sale for each segment and a category. Let's modify this expression over here or just keep this. I increase this by same syntax, same thing. Only thing is that the function will change over here. Click OK. I might include level of detail expression. Now you can see, even if I remove the category from here, it will give me the same number that is showing for the sales figure over. So this is a potential. We don't have some good example explanation, but you can consider this as whenever if a scenario comes in wherein you want to compute a particular detail every time with respect to a particular dimension. So in our case, it would be a category. मतलब जो भी biz हम represent करेंगे, it should always be calculated based on the category. In such scenarios, you can drag and drop the segment, or you can drop the region, anything that you want, and automatically it will be computed based on the category. That's how you can freeze this without bringing the that particular dimension into the view. So हमने यहाँ पे without getting category into a view, we can compute that aggregation. That's how include LOD works. Exclude also works in the same way. The only difference is that it will exclude the dimension that we specify over. So, okay, again the same mistake. It should be exclude over here. Exclude category sum of sales will give you sum of sales for each segment plus category. ये दोनों addition हुआ और ये जो तीसरा है that we have in our calculation, it will give a subtraction over because exclude is the command that has been specified, and the end result will be it will give you the sum of sale for each segment. Category and category will be cancelling off, and we'll be getting the sum of sale for the segment. That as well. Okay, I think you can see over here. We are getting 1161 706 1461 category under the segment, and similarly this. So this number is nothing but the number for the consumer का जो overall sales है उसका number है. So this is replicating all that irrespective of the category field over here. So that's how the exclude level of detail works. It will exclude a particular dimension and compute your biz. Now, in this scenario, it is excluding the category over here and computing your biz based on the segment. That's what the fixed include and exclude does. Fixed is the most used level of detail expression, whereas include and exclude as less use cases. So I also have one use case that what this says is we can use LOD just an use case. So we can use LOD to eliminate the duplicacy in our data. So let's suppose our data contains multiple transaction table. Everyone knows that what transaction tables is. It contains multiple records of the same IDs, right? So that's how the transaction table looks like. Now there is one condition that we have over here is so first before going to that condition, whenever we get we need to join two transaction table, we identify the granular level and aggregate using the Alteryx, or if you are a SQL expert, then you can. That's how we perform an operation before developing the dashboard, right? So, but the customer has put up a condition that you not miss out any data. Like you cannot delete any row because aggregation will in turn delete the rows that we have, right? The customer has put up a condition that you should not delete any rows. And the third condition is dashboard should be prepared with all the correct number going up in it and with all the requirements satisfied. That's the third condition. Now let's see how LOD works in real life. Before going to that, I'll quickly explain you the use case, the data which I have. So I have my product ID over. So this is just a dummy data that I've created in order to explain the development. So I have the product ID over. This is nothing but you can consider this as a different products. So ये जो हमारे daily used products is, so we can consider that. So I have 5 different products over here, and I have 5 different. For each product, I have 2 different sub-product IDs. And the cost evolved in order to generate that particular product. So you can see over here product ID 1 with a sub product ID 11 is taking a 10 rupees cost in order to generate that particular. So that's what the product table tells us. And what we have customer table. So I have different customers, and each customer has bought each product and the sales that has been generating. So you can see over here customer ID 1 ने product ID 2 purchase किया, giving you a sales of 31 rupees. That's what the customer table tells. So our objective over here is to estimate the profit ratio. My company profitable enough in order to keep ready with the production. क्योंकि 5 product बनाने में am I profitable or I'm in loss? So I need to look at my business and develop if it is in a loss or if it's a profit, then how much profit is I am in. Okay, that's what the use case. So as soon as I join these two tables, that table. Okay, so I have my customer, I have my product. I'll drag product first because I want to know all the information related to the product. I'll open this and I join customer based on this. I do a left join based on the product ID because I want all the information of the product. So as soon as I go into my view, I have customer, I have my product. I drag product ID. I drag my sales figure and I drag my cost figure. So I have my cost, I have my sales figure. So this is telling me product, okay, let's ignore product ID 1 because product ID is KK entity. Okay, consider product ID 2. So this is telling me product ID 2 cost 120 rupees and this is giving me a sale of 260. But is that true? Product ID जो है जैसे एक प्रोडक्ट की कॉस्ट थी 20 रुपीज एंड द नेक्स्ट प्रोडक्ट का कॉस्ट था 20 रुपीज. सो द टोटल ओवरऑल कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्ट ID 2 इज 40 rupees, right? But Tableau is showing me 120 rupees, which means the data has been duplicated. और कितने लेवल पे डुप्लीकेट हुआ? लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड दैट. यहाँ के 2 प्रोडक्ट आईडी और यहाँ के 3 प्रोडक्ट आईडी के साथ जब मैच हो गए तो द एंड आउटपुट होगी 2 क्रॉस 3 व्हिच इज नथिंग बट 6 एंट्रीज जो है हमारे इस टेबल में रिकॉर्ड होगी. राइट, देख लेते हैं कि दैट ट्रू और नॉट. आई गेट अ कैलकुलेटेड फील्ड बाय द नंबर ऑफ रिकॉर्ड्स. As you can see 6 रिकॉर्ड्स आए हैं फॉर प्रोडक्ट आईडी 2, जबकि प्रोडक्ट आईडी जो हमारे टेबल में है वो सिर्फ 2 ही एंट्री है. वहां पे 4 एंट्री जो है वो एक्स्ट्रा है व्हिच इज कॉजिंग दिस पर्टिकुलर डुप्लीकेशन. So how to reduce that is we can do that with respect to the level of detail expression. So what I have over here is अगर मैं यहाँ पे प्रोडक्ट आईडी और सब प्रोडक्ट आईडी लेवल पे कॉस्ट को अगर एवरेज ले लूं तो व्हाट हैज हैपेंड इज यहाँ का जो सेकेंड प्रोडक्ट आईडी है यहाँ के 3 प्रोडक्ट आईडी के साथ जाके मैच हुआ है, रिजल्टिंग इन द कॉस्ट टू बी डुप्लीकेटेड 3 times, right? That's what has happened over here. If I at this level product ID and sub product ID, if I average out the cost, and I'll be getting the correct number, right? Let's see whether that works or not. In order to remove the duplicacy, I write this as revise cost fix. I use a fix function over here, and this is with respect to the product ID and the product ID. I average the cost. I've got my calculation here and the revised cost over here. Let's drag and click it over here. So you can see now अभी पहले जो हमें जो figure चाहिए था, averaging that at this particular level gives us the correct solution, right? We get a correct figure of 40 over 60. So let's see product ID जो 3 है उसका cost 60 था कि नहीं actual में. I have my product ID 3 over here, and product ID 3 is coming 2 times, and the respective cost for each is 30 plus 30, and it is 60. So we are getting a correct number over here. Similarly, we can build the sales figure over here. Let's do that as and let's do this by sales. Instead of cost over here, what I'll do is at sale, and instead of product ID from the product table, I'll drag product ID from the customer table and customer ID from the customer table. So at this 2 level, I want to compute the average. As soon as I do this, I have my revised sales coming in, and now you can see my sales figure also got revised accordingly. Let's see product ID 2 का जो sales था वो actually 130 था कि नहीं. Let's do a quick validation on top of that. My product ID 2 is over here. Product ID here. Okay, so 31 plus 55. Okay, let's add this 2 first. 31 plus 44 is nothing but 45 plus 30, which is nothing but 75, and 75 plus 55 is nothing but 130, which is what we are getting over. Device sales as 130. So LOD expression has actually reduced the duplicacy in your data. Plus, it has retained all the details as well. मतलब अगर end user कल कोई पूछता है कि मुझे lowest canonical level का एक table format चाहिए, you can also do that, and all the numbers are getting correct over here, and so your third requirement is also satisfied with this particular example, right? So this 3 requirement is satisfied over here. So that's how LOD is powerful. Allows you to remove the duplicacy in your data. I have 3 links over here. If you want to explore LOD in much detail, Tableau, we have Tableau's white paper with respect to the LOD. That we have 20 uses of level of detail in calculation. I've just explained you one level of detail over here from this 20. There are many more to explore. You can use that. It's created by Flourish. Then we have top 50 level of detail expression. You can see how differently LOD expression can be used in order to solve the business problems. This is everything related to the level of details. Any questions with respect to LOD or date function? Okay, so I think LOD is done. So Anaga, quickly over. I know we are short of time.
Yes, sure. Yeah, so today I will be explaining the advanced analytics using TabPy. So what is TabPy? So TabPy is the Tableau Python server, which allows you to execute the Python code scripts in the Tableau calculation field. So that is, it remotely access the Python code inside the Tableau. So this is the architecture, or we can call it as workflow of TabPy. So let's start with the external services. Now, suppose if a TabPy is installed in my system. So what happens is, if I write I have written a Python code in my local system, then I will deploy a connection between the TabPy and Python. So it is basically called as the endpoint. So it acts as a client and a server. So via the API, this communication happens. So once the endpoint is deployed inside the Tableau TabPy, what happens is the Tableau server or the Tableau desktop, you can see. So the Tableau desktop can communicate with the TabPy with the help of these endpoints. So what happens is the API will send a request and will access request of the Tableau and will access the information via the resource, which is the endpoint, and it will receive the response. So once you upload the data source inside the Tableau, you will write some script function. So what does this script function do is, in Tableau, this script function, Tableau passes the code to the Python, so that all the functions or the packages which we write in the Python code can also be executed inside the Tableau calculation field. So this is the architecture of TabPy. So these are the prerequisites which are needed for installing the TabPy. So first is Windows, Mac, and Linux operating system. So these are the operating system with which the TabPy is compatible, and the Tableau desktop should be of the version 10.1 or above that. Python version 2.6 or above, but as of now, Python 2 does not exist. So I would recommend you to install Python 3.6 or 3.7. So 3.7 supports the newer version, and 3.8 also supports the newer version. 3.6 supports the older version of TabPy. And next is the TabPy. So here the link is being provided. So via this link, this is a GitHub link. So you can like go through how to install the data, what is TabPy, how the data is being transferred. So you can get the complete information via this link. Then next is steps to install the TabPy. So there are two ways to install TabPy. So one is the thing which is visible in the screen. You have to go to the GitHub link, download the source code, unzip it, and then open the directory. And in this directory, at the end, you have to put the startup command. The other way around is you can do it manually, like by yourself. So first you have to go to the command prompt and run it as administrator. Yeah. So first thing you need to do is you have to upgrade your pip version. That is Python M pip install. Pip. Okay. So yeah, so here the requirement is already satisfied because I have installed it, upgraded my pip version. Then next step is to write pip install TabPy. Yeah, so requirement is already satisfied. So what happens is, if you're installing it for the first time, it might take some time because it installs all the packages and dependencies what the Python functions use, like sklearn. So sklearn is basically the packages which contains different functions like pandas, numpy, which all things we use for cleaning the data. So once this is done, so that means it's installed successfully. Okay, so this is the installation which you have done into your local system. Now if you want to check whether it is completely installed, so what you will do is the next step you will do is you have to check how to connect with the Tableau to the TabPy server. So how you will do is you will just open Tableau. You have to go to help, then settings and performance, manage external services. So here you will be getting two options, that is rserv. So if you are using our language, you will be connecting with rserv. So I'm using TabPy, so I will connect with TabPy, localhost and 9004. But one thing I have not, once I will test the connection, I will get the result as successfully test the connection. But here I like being, if you're using a Python code, I always write my Python code in Jupyter Notebook. So I have installed this TabPy inside the Tableau, inside the Anaconda prompt. So what I'll do is I'll go and I'll open Anaconda prompt, and then I will write TapPy, because in Anaconda also I have installed TapPy. So let's see. Yeah. So here the web service listening on port 9004. Okay. So if you are writing, if you have written in any other platform, like in the local system, then you can run it in CMD administrator, or else if you have written in Jupyter Notebook, you have to run it in the Anaconda prompt. Then once it is done, now I will check the connection. So I will test the connection. Successfully connected to the external services. That means it has been installed successfully. So this is the installation part of installation part of Tableau, and sorry, connection between the Tableau and TapPy server. Now I will be going to the use case. So today I will show you the use case. Like, I'll show you the data on which I have made the use case. So basically, this is a Titanic data set. So in this data set, here all the passengers that have been traveled into the Titanic, their information is being given. So I have implemented the machine learning algorithm in this data set, that is linear regression algorithm. So so in this algorithm, we have to predict whether the particular passenger who is traveling in that boat will survive or not. So the survive column, it is present in the training data and in the test data, which we will be testing. So this training data I will be uploading in my deploying in my machine learning algorithm, and with the help of for testing, I will be putting some parameters like P class, name, sex, age, and the system will predict me and tell whether that particular passenger is surviving or not. Okay, so this is the machine learning code which I have written. So this is the training and all the cleaning process is done, label encoder, and then here I have implemented I have implemented random forest algorithm. So after writing this Python script, what you will do is you have to import the Tableau TapPy tool.client, and here's the local host, and then you have to make a connection.deploy. So what this deploy function do is the endpoint which I told you, that the endpoint is created between Python and the TapPy service. So this is the endpoint. So I have made my endpoint, that is Titanic part 2. So what happens is the Tableau will hit this endpoint, and it will be able to execute the Python code. So this is the connection.deploy. So my endpoint is deployed. You can see your deployed function, this name, deployed endpoint name, inside the TapPy folder which you have installed. And then after that, you will go to your Tableau. So I'll show you. This is the Titanic calculation field which I have created. Okay. So script int. So what does this script function do is it passes the code to the Python so that the functions can be implemented. And then return tappy.query Titanic part 2. So it is invoking, means it is calling the endpoint from the tappy, and then invoking the endpoint as well as the arguments. So what are these arguments? These arguments are the parameters that are required to so that we can we can get the output, like whether the particular person is surviving or not. So with the help of age parameter, fair parameter, so these are the inputs which we are giving to my algorithm, machine learning algorithm. So so we have 7 parameters, and I have put the 7 arguments over here, and I'll receive the response. Okay, now I'll show you the dashboard. So this is the dashboard where these are parameters P class. So suppose if P class is, so the passenger class is third class and the sex is male, age is something around 34, embarked is like port is Q, number of families, so he's traveling, the particular passenger is traveling alone, and the fare is $7. That means that particular passenger will die. So the output which I am getting is from the prediction that the system has done after training the historical data. So suppose if I'll put the parent P class is first class, suppose, and a female is traveling. Okay, and let's keep the age around 34 itself. Is okay, number of families. Suppose if she is traveling with her family, that means she is surviving. Even if she's so, you guys might be knowing कि टाइटैनिक केस में कि almost like around 75 to 80% of female ने मतलब survive कर चुके थे. तो ये सब मतलब ये सब चीजें हम लोग पाइथन कोड से इम्प्लीमेंट करके फिर टैब्ल्यू यूज करके उसको हम विजुअलाइज भी कर सकते हैं. सो बस या इतना.
Okay, so in this way you can actually connect a bridge between Tableau, Python server and Tableau. And if the customer gives you a requirement that you need to connect Tableau Python for analysis, like हमारे Tableau में हम advanced analytics नहीं कर सकते, हम linear regression नहीं कर सकते, हम multiple regression नहीं कर सकते, logistic, ये सारी चीजें हमारे पास restricted है, हमारे पास कोई function नहीं है perform करने के. But Tableau, what Tableau does is it gives you a platform by the name RServe if you are an R user, and TabPy if you are an Python user, to bridge the gap in order to perform your analysis. So as you saw in this particular session, हमने Python server को connect करके अपना linear regression यहाँ पे perform किया. So in this way you can do your advanced analytics.
हाँ, अभी यहाँ पे ये जो एक सेकेंड ना, एक यहाँ पे जो श्लोक मित्तल है, इन्होंने भी कुछ अपना प्रोजेक्ट अपलोड किया है. तो यहाँ पे ऐसा है कि ये कोई कंसल्टिंग कंपनी है जिनका कोई एप्लीकेशन डेवलपमेंट का उनका काम है. तो इनका लाइक चैलेंज ये है कि कुछ एप्लीकेशन का रेटिंग्स ना इतना गिरता है, तो फिर उसका फीचर्स क्या है, उसका रीजन क्या है कि ये एप्लीकेशन लाइक वो पर्टिकुलर एप्लीकेशन इतना गिरता है. तो ये आप ऐसे बना सकते हो, डेटा सेट भी अवेलेबल है. तो यहाँ पे अगर ये स्क्रीन में आप देखोगे कि यहाँ पे ये जो है यहाँ पे कैटेगरी गेम एडवेंचर, तो ये बेसिकली कैटेगरीज है एप्लीकेशंस के अंदर, फिर उसका रेटिंग्स एंड एवरीथिंग. तो ये सारे फीचर्स है जो इफेक्ट करता है और हमें उसका रिजल्ट मिलेगा. तो देयर इज 10.3% चांसेस दैट एन एप्लीकेशन विल गेट अ रेटिंग ग्रेटर देन 4.5. तो ऐसे लाइक ये सारे बहुत सारे लिंक्स है, कुछ यूज केसेस है, मतलब ब्लॉग्स है जहाँ पे आप लोग देख सकते हो. डेटा सेट भी अवेलेबल है, कोडिंग्स भी अवेलेबल है एक्सप्लेनेशन के साथ, तो कर सकते हो.
That was everything related to the session. If you have any question, please ask, or you can connect accordingly. Any questions? Okay, so we are good to go. Thank you so much, guys, for attending the session. Have a good day.